WWE superstars are larger-than-life athletes. They entertain millions, create unforgettable moments, and dominate the squared circle. But what happens when these icons decide to step out of scripted storylines and step into the most brutal fighting arena in the world? The UFC octagon. Today, we're looking at the top 3 WWE superstars who walked away from the bright lights of WWE to test themselves in real combat. And trust me, their journeys were filled with risk, blood, and history-making moments. The first name on this list has to be Brock Lesnar. In WWE, Brock was a monster. The next big thing, destroying legends like The Rock and The Undertaker. But in 2004, at the peak of his WWE career, Brock Lesnar shocked the world by leaving the company to pursue a dream, becoming a real fighter. Fans were skeptical. Could a scripted superstar survive in the toughest sport on earth? Brock answered that question brutally. After training hard, he entered the UFC in 2008. His debut didn't go his way. He lost to Frank Mir. But Brock didn't quit. Within a year, he came back stronger and captured the UFC Heavyweight Championship by defeating Randy Couture. In that moment, he silenced every critic. Lesnar wasn't just a WWE superstar pretending to fight. He was a real, dominant athlete at the top of the fighting world. At UFC 100, his rematch against Frank Mir drew one of the biggest pay-per-views in UFC history, with Brock winning decisively. For years, Lesnar was the UFC's biggest attraction, bringing WWE fans into MMA. Even though illness eventually slowed him down, Brock remains the only man in history to be a WWE champion and a UFC heavyweight champion. That legacy alone makes him a legend. The next name is one of the most controversial in wrestling history, CM Punk. After leaving WWE in 2014 on bitter terms, Punk shocked fans by signing with UFC in 2016. The man known as the voice of the voiceless wanted to prove that he could succeed in real combat, even without a background in professional fighting. The hype was massive. Fans filled arenas just to see CM Punk try. But reality hit hard. In his debut at UFC 203, Punk faced Mickey Gall, a young, hungry fighter. The fight lasted barely 2 minutes before Punk was taken down and submitted. It was a brutal loss. Punk tried again in 2018 against Mike Jackson, but he lost by decision after 3 rounds. The truth was clear. Punk's heart was strong, but his body and skills were no match for trained UFC fighters. Still, you have to respect CM Punk's courage. He left behind a comfortable life in WWE, millions of dollars and fan adoration to step into the most dangerous cage in sports. He may not have won fights, but he earned respect for trying. His journey was a reminder that not everyone can transition from entertainment to real combat. But the attempt itself made history. Now let's flip the script. Ronda Rousey didn't start in WWE. She started in the UFC. But her transition is too powerful not to mention. Ronda was the first true female superstar of mixed martial arts, the first woman to dominate UFC like a storm. She became the first ever UFC Women's Bantamweight champion, defending her title 6 times in a row, often finishing fights in under a minute. She was unstoppable, an icon, a global superstar. But when Ronda lost her belt, her UFC career came crashing down. That's when she shocked the world by stepping into WWE. In 2018, she debuted at WrestleMania, and the crowd reaction was insane. From that moment, she became one of WWE's top stars, even headlining WrestleMania 35 in the first-ever women's main event. Ronda's story is the perfect example of the crossover between UFC and WWE. A fighter who conquered one world and then became a superstar in another. So there you have it, Brock Lesnar, the beast who conquered both WWE and UFC. CM Punk, the rebel who dared to chase a dream, even if it ended in defeat. And Ronda Rousey, the fighter who became a WWE megastar. These three stories prove that the worlds of WWE and UFC are closer than we think, but the path between them is filled with risk, pain, and glory. Because at the end of the day, WWE gives us entertainment, UFC gives us reality. And when the two collide, history is made. Which of these journeys do you think was the most legendary? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, whether it's the ring or the cage, legends are born where the crowd is loudest.